We've spent 4 lessons on prompting. Today we switch to memory. The first memory mechanism, the project agents.md file. By the end of this lesson, you will understand the project agents.md file, a small markdown file that lives in your project folder and tells OpenCode what to know every turn. Write it once. OpenCode reads it forever. This is the first of 2 memory mechanisms, the second is global, and we'll cover it next. What is agents.md? It is a markdown file that lives at the root of your project folder. Plain markdown, the same format as AREADME. OpenCode reads this file at the start of every session, before you ask your first question. Whatever is in there, the model sees. It becomes part of the context window automatically, every turn. Why does it exist? To stop you repeating yourself. Without it, you re-explain your project every session. This is a Python 3.11 project. We use Flask, the database is Postgres. Please follow PEP8. With agents.md, OpenCode just knows. It saves tokens, saves time, saves your patience. Same effect as pasting the file each time, but automatic. Here is a simple example. Project name, language, framework, database. Conventions, follow PEP8, use type hints, tests live in tests, prefer data classes. And a short don't list, don't add new dependencies without asking. 20 lines of markdown, and OpenCode now knows all of this for every session in this project. You never have to say it again. 20 lines of markdown, and OpenCode just knows, forever, for this project. What should you put in agents.md? Project name and purpose, 1 line. Tech stack, language, framework, database, deployment target. Conventions, naming, formatting, project structure. Hard rules, never do X without asking. And where things live, tests in tests folder, docs in docs folder, config in config folder. Keep it short. OpenCode does not need a novel. Now flip the question, what should you keep out of this file? No secrets, keys, or passwords. This file is often committed to Git. No entire code files, the model can read those itself. No project history or changelog, that's noise. No customer data, obviously. Keep the file lean. Anything that doesn't change the model's answer is a candidate for deletion. How does OpenCode use it? Behind the scenes, the file's contents go into the context window at the start of every session, before your first message. That means it counts toward your token budget. So keep it short. Every token in agents.md is a token you don't have for the actual conversation. Aim for 50 lines or less for most projects. Keep it lean. Every token in this file costs you every turn. How is agents.md different from README? Different audiences. README is for humans. What is this project? How do I install it? How do I use it? Agents.md is for the model. What should you know about this project before helping me with it? Often you have both. Agents tends to be more about rules and conventions, README more about overview. Where does the file come from in the first place? Often from OpenCode itself. The /init command tells OpenCode to study your project and write a first draft. You edit that draft to taste. Then commit it to Git. It is part of the project, shared by everyone who works on it. We'll cover /init in detail in Phase C. If you remember one idea, agents.md is persistent project context. It's read every session, before your first message. Keep it short, under 50 lines for most projects. Commit it to Git, it is part of the codebase, shared by the whole team. Stop repeating yourself. Let the file remember. Here is a recommended structure for agents.md. Start with project name and a 1-line purpose. Then tech stack, language, framework, database, deployment target. Then structure, main folders and what they hold. Then conventions, naming, formatting, code patterns. Then rules, the hard do not and always rules. Then testing, how to run tests. 6 sections. About 20 lines for most projects. How does the file evolve over the project's life? Start small, 5 lines is fine when you're beginning. Add conventions as they emerge. When you find yourself repeating a preference, add it. Add rules after mistakes happen. When the model does something you don't want, add a rule preventing it. Prune things that don't change the model's answer. Every line should earn its place. When multiple developers use OpenCode on the same project, agents.md becomes a team-shared file. It's committed to Git, everyone gets the same version. Changes go through pull requests, just like code. Conventions get discussed in code review. And when a new developer joins, they read agents.md as part of onboarding. It's a quick way to learn the project's conventions. Advanced examples. A mature agents.md often has sections for performance budgets. Don't add anything that increases page load by more than 50 milliseconds. Security rules: never log secrets, never disable auth checks. Dependencies: ask before adding new ones. Refactoring: no big rewrites without asking first. These sections grow naturally over time as the project and team learn what matters. Quick recap. Agents.md lives at the root of your project folder. It is plain markdown, read every session before your first message. It holds conventions, rules, project structure. And it should be short: every token in this file costs you every turn. Here is a small exercise. Pick any folder with code you have, a personal project, a work project, anything. Imagine OpenCode was about to help you with it. Write the agents.md you would want it to read. Aim for 20 lines or less. If you can't fit it in 20 lines, you're probably telling the model things it doesn't need to know. Coming up next, Global agents.md. We have covered project level memory, which lives in one project folder. The global version lives in your OpenCode config and applies to every project on your machine. Useful for your personal preferences that don't change between projects. We'll cover it next. Agents.md, persistent project context. Stop repeating yourself, write it once. OpenCode reads it forever. Project level memory is the first kind. Global is next. Thanks for spending this time with me. Next, the global agents.md, for everything you want OpenCode to know across all your projects.